3 days after the Varn ultimatum, the human response arrived not as words, but as shadows. Dozens of ships, so massive they eclipsed moons, emerged from the asteroid belt. They bore no IFF signals, no diplomatic credentials. Only ancient designations etched into their hulls in forgotten Terran runes. 8WS Oblivion. Ebel US Eternum. Ebel US Vengeance. Ships built not for patrol or deterrence, but for annihilation. Their surfaces were layered with ablative armor, centuries ahead of anything the Concorde could replicate. Their weapons emitted spectra the Varn had never encountered. And worst of all, they were crude. Not by soft diplomats, but by echoes human minds fused with machine, preserved through eons of silence. Admiral Threx's fleet locked targeting solutions and issued warnings. The Terran response was silence. Then fire. Oblivion fired its main cannon, a singularity launcher, tearing a Varn cruiser in half by warping space-time inside its hull. Eternum followed with a storm of neutron torpedoes, bypassing shields entirely. Within seconds, 9 Varn dreadnoughts were reduced to vapor. The Tyranzul tried to retreat. It never got the chance. A Terran vessel, smaller than the others, but 10 times as fast, broke from the flank. Its name was HWS Dauntless. It latched onto the Varn flagship using a magnetic tether, then deployed boarding drones, AI-controlled warriors, forged from combat code lost to time. Admiral Threx, trembling in her command chair, watched as her screens went dark, one by one. Her final moments were spent not in defiance, but in awe. The last thing she saw was a message flashing in Terran Standard across the command console. We remember now. Across the galaxy, chaos erupted. The Concorde scrambled to convene. Species that once dismissed humanity as harmless now demanded new treaties. Ancient worlds shifted allegiances overnight. The Varn dominion, long thought unassailable, fell within a week. Their homeworld, Kael Tor, surrendered after a single Terran vessel parked itself in geosynchronous orbit and broadcast a single message: "We come in peace." But we remember war. The age of balance was over. The galaxy now spoke in Terran Standard. But humanity did not conquer. They did not demand tribute nor territory. They simply reactivated their old network of sentry worlds, rebuilt forgotten stations, and resumed a long-suspended patrol known only in the Concorde archives as the Silence Doctrine. What the galaxy had interpreted as weakness was in fact restraint. And what was once dismissed as naivety was wisdom earned through apocalypse. In truth, Earth had once burned with ambition, had waged wars that tore stars apart, and nearly consumed themselves in their own fury. But they had learned. When they chose to return, it wasn't to reclaim power, it was to ensure no one else misused it again. Decades later, when younglings across 100 systems studied galactic history, they asked their elders, was it true? Did the humans really hide their strength for 1,000 years? And the answer, always whispered with a mix of fear and reverence, remained the same. They didn't hide it. They buried it. And the galaxy should be grateful they ever chose to unearth it. A new peace began, not built on treaties or fear, but on the quiet presence of Terran shadows, watching, remembering, and when needed reminding the stars of what once was. Because when humanity revealed their ancient warships, the galaxy didn't just change, it knelt. Threx gestured, and a hologram lit the chamber. Footage from the destroyed fleets played, human warships darting through enemy fire like sharks through water, pulling maneuvers that should have torn their hulls apart. Squads of infantry, unaugmented, unenhanced storming boarding parties with nothing but ballistic rifles and grenades. And then, audio. This is Commander Helena Rourke of the UHS Defiant. To the so-called Galactic Empire, you messed with the wrong species. We're not here to talk. "We're not here to run. We're here to end you." One final clip showed the defiant and aging cruiser from Earth's early expansion years ramming into a Xan-class dreadnought, its engines screaming defiance as it detonated in a blinding flash. The Emperor stood slowly. The chamber felt smaller now. "And you say this was not their primary fleet?" Threx nodded. "Our scans confirm it. The main fleet is still stationed at Mars and Lunar Base. This was a detached unit, volunteers mostly. Veterans. Some retired. They called themselves the First Punch." The Emperor turned to his advisors. "What is the probability of a full-scale counteroffensive?" Kor answered without hesitation. "Certain. We attacked their colony under false pretense. Burned civilian habitats. The humans will not forget." A lower noble spoke up. "There's still just one species." Kor looked at him darkly. "So were the Drakari. Until the humans uplifted them. So were the Kaltoran. Now they serve aboard human ships willingly. Their unity is not racial. It is ideological. No chains. No thrones. That is their battle cry." The Emperor's eyes flicked to the galaxy map. The Sol system glowed red, now marked as hostile. Not just defiant. Dangerous. He stared long and hard. "Dispatch the shadow envoys," he said. "Begin contingency planning. Initiate diplomatic fallback channels." "But sire," a courtier protested. Zeltor turned slowly. "They've beaten us before we even saw them coming. This is not a war we win by force. Not against them." In a small war room deep beneath Lunar Base, Commander Helena Rourke stood over a tactical table, arms folded. Her officers were reporting new intel. The Empire had withdrawn all ships from the Vega corridor. Border systems were falling silent. "So," said her XO, grinning, "they finally figured it out." Rourke allowed herself a small smile. "Yeah," she said. "They finally got the message." She looked out the viewport, where the gleaming bulk of the UHS Titan, Earth's newest dreadnought, hovered in silent orbit. Behind it, dozens more ships were aligning, sleek, deadly, and very, very human. The main fleet was assembling. And the galaxy was about to learn exactly what it meant to provoke humanity.